So, kinesiology is a somatic therapy, which means that we work on releasing stress and trauma from the body. And it combines the Eastern wisdom with Western science. So, the founders of kinesiology came down through that line of mesmerism, of Hahnemann, who did homeopathics. It came down the line of chiropractic, and it uses manual muscle testing. So if I do it online, I do the manual muscle testing on myself by tuning into the client's energy field. But if we're in person, I use their muscles to test.
Mm-hmm.
And it bypasses the conscious mind and gets into what's happening in the subconscious. So if you imagine the wiring of your body, your nervous system, as say the wiring of a house. If you've got wires that aren't connected properly or that have got too much load, it's not going to be working very well. So if the signal is getting through the muscle clearly, then it's not stressful to the body. But if there's a stress there, it's like the signal gets interrupted and you can feel the change in the muscle tone. So we use manual muscle testing to bypass the conscious mind and go into the subconscious to find effectively the root cause of the issues that people are presenting with, whether that be physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. And we work on every single level of the body. We're not just looking at, the mental mind or the emotional body or the spiritual self or the physical body. We're looking at the body as a holistic thing, entity. And any energetic disturbances are what we're looking to reharmonize, because the body can then access its own innate healing capacity.
Mm-hmm. So do you have a structure for asking the body questions?
A lot of that, yes, we do have a structure, we have a protocol, and also the intuition comes into it.
Mm-hmm.
Based on what the client has been saying, what they've not been saying, the conversations that we've had, all of those different things all kind of tie into the session. And it's also about where the client is wanting to go as well. So if we think about kinesiology, what we do at the beginning of a session is we set a goal of what we're trying to achieve, and then we're clearing the things that are standing between us and the goal. So whether that be belief systems or things in the physical body or chemical imbalances or nutritional imbalances or physical imbalances, whatever it is, they're the things that we're cleaning out so that then that goal becomes easier for the human being to move towards.
Gotcha. So when you went through the process yourself as a client, what were the outcomes for you?
Oh my goodness, so many to name. I still get regular kinesiology sessions because kinesiology is about diffusing stress. And I don't know about you, but life is pretty stressful.
Mm.
And so I regularly get tuned up. I regularly am also looking for growth and expansion, of course, as well. So as much as I feel like I've healed from a lot of my traumas, there's also the growth and expansion aspect of the goals that I'm heading towards. And kinesiology is a great tool for that. But in broad terms, I have lost weight. I have lost emotional weight. I've gained an understanding of the childhood traumas that set me up for entering an abusive relationship. I've understood the stories that I was carrying about myself, about other people. It has been so multifaceted. I've reconnected to my spiritual self in a way that I both knew was possible and also felt very far from achievable at some points. I am very, very connected to my physical body. So I can feel, in the gym this morning, I was at Pilates and there was a couple of exercises that we did that didn't feel good for my body. And so I was making sure that I was using my hands to help the machine move through it so that my body was less stressed. And I take that pressure off myself. A few years back, I would have just fought through it and made myself do it and battled on, so to speak. But I know my body now. The other thing I think is also, I can recognize when I'm out of alignment. so much better, and I know what to do to bring myself into alignment. If I haven't had enough time in nature, if I've been eating the wrong things or too much of the wrong things, because let's face it, everybody is different, and there are a few things that really do not agree with my body, and there are some things that sometimes do and sometimes don't agree with my body. And so again, it's recognizing all of those and being able to tune into that, recognizing when I don't sleep, okay, what are the patterns that have led up to me not sleeping? Because that's one of my big telltale signs of stress. It's also taught me how to rest, because I've taken the guilt and the shame away from rest and beingness. And so there's a grace and compassion that I have for myself that I never knew I could have had before. And to go back 8, 10 years, I hated myself. I would catch sight of myself in a mirror and want to smash it. I couldn't stand the sight of myself. I hated being in my body. And so I'd do anything I could to leave it. Physically, mentally, emotionally, I just didn't want to be there. And so I'm embodied now. I can be present in my body and not have side effects or effects from that. So the range of what it's given me has been so insanely multifaceted, and it's improved every area of my life.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm just thinking back to, when you came to the UK and you had a real kind of party time.
Yeah.
Looking back, do you think that maybe that was also trying to escape?
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. I never knew who I was because I was never allowed to explore that. And it's interesting. I think back now and I don't regret that party time at all. It was fun. And also, I know it was still a trauma response. I went from this tightly constrained thing to somebody with absolutely no boundaries. And that wasn't me either. And then I couldn't find me because I went into a controlling, manipulative relationship. And it's only really been since I left the marriage and bought myself that space that I've started to work out who the hell I am in this world.
So who are you?
Oh, still discovering it. I guess it's recognizing that I'm that soul in the body, having a human experience, that we are all spiritual beings, that we are all messy as hell. And the more we can love and accept our divinity and our messiness, the easier our human existence becomes.